My name is Trevor Christin and I am the new Director of Education for the Diocese of Chichester. I arrived at that point having been a head teacher for 16 and a half years. All my time I spent teaching in Brighton and Hove. I first thought about going into teaching probably at about the age of 17 or 18. I, at that stage, was pursuing a career in law. I felt that I would make more of a difference as a teacher than I would as a lawyer. It's not only a job that you do, but it's a way that you live your life. My faith has been absolutely crucial in my journey as a teacher. I think it's really important to find your place in life where you're serving God the best. Doing what God wants me to do, or doing something as part of my service to God, has brought me a great deal of fulfillment. Joy was something that I felt we as a Christian school had a duty to provide. And for us, joy is something that is very much part of our school life, and it comes through in times of hardship, in times of challenge, as well as in times of success. The joy embraced by both school communities that I led was very much evident when you walked into the school, and very much a part of the lives of the children and staff. Schools aren't closed communities. They're places built around the children, but they're full of families, they're full of parents. If our schools are going to be authentically Christian in their ethos, then the people that come in and are part of our wider school community should feel that joy, and they should know that joy. I think there's quite a pressure on schools to be results orientated and standards driven. And whilst those are really important things, the school community has to focus on so much more than that. We need to be having a strong emphasis on care, so that we're a positive and dynamic role model for how children can relate to one another as they grow. And I think that emphasis on care and love and on joy has an enormous impact on the welfare of children and the welfare of parents and carers around them. And if we are able to create places of stability and of love and of joy, they'll become people who can make an impact and make a difference on the world around them. You can measure test scores. It's harder to measure joy, care and love, but you can see it and you can feel it, and you can respond to how people are reacting. We have been teaching the children about love and giving them clear biblical references. But I think it's far more important that love is demonstrated in daily lives, in the way you pick up the child who's fallen over in the playground, in the way that you deal with conflict, in the way that you might discipline and tell children off. It's something which I think has largely infiltrated our school, and I think it's had a huge impact on the community around us. I would suggest that Christianity is uncompromisingly about love, and I think that's the example we are set by Jesus and his sacrifice and God's sacrifice. But I think therefore that love should be the most obvious hallmark of a Christian school or of a church. It should be the thing that stands out the most. But that's a lot easier to say than to do, and we all fall short of that. And I think it's being aware that we will fall short, but we don't stop striving to achieve that, because that's a lifelong goal. It's never going to be achieved, in its perfection. But striving towards it, aiming for it, I think has to be the one thing that we've always got in our minds.